Now buckle up, because this is probably going to be the craziest ride you've ever had in John's Guitar Lounge. You're going to come out at the end of this series having all the tools to bend notes just like a pro. Hey everybody, Johnny Stewart here from John's Guitar Lounge. I've been getting a lot of questions about bending notes. How do I bend a note properly? Now there's so much that I can talk about with bending notes that I'm actually going to show you a whole bunch of things, and I'm going to do a several part video series on this. So I'm going to start with all the basic techniques in the first video, which will be coming up right now. And then in future videos, which I'll post over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to show you more advanced techniques and more expert techniques or pro techniques for how to do all sorts of really cool stuff and crazy stuff with bending. The way you bend notes and the way you play in general really depends on the guitar that you're playing. So I'm going to use two different guitars. I'm going to use my old mainstay, my main player, a 1995 Gibson Custom Shop 59 reissue Les Paul, and I'm also going to use my newest guitar that I got most recently, a couple months ago at the NAMM show, which is this beautiful Vola guitar with all these different pickup combinations and options. Now, why is bending so important? Bending notes is so important for a lot of reasons. A couple of the main reasons, and my favorite reasons, are because, number one, a player's signature sound and their definition in their playing is really formed by their vibrato. And you can get vibrato in a bunch of different ways. You can get it with a vibrato handle, like this, whammy bar or tremolo arm or whatever you want to call it, like on the Vola. You can also get it from just bending notes on the guitar, like I'm going to show you in this particular series. You can also get great vibrato and great tone and great signature from slides, like the slides that I play from Rocky Mountain Slides, which are stone slides and ceramic slides, and I've got a bunch of videos on those slides, so I'm going to link those right here so you can see those and check those out more. But if you don't have any other equipment other than a guitar, even if it's an acoustic guitar or whatever else, and yes, you can bend on acoustic guitar, so I will show you how to bend on an acoustic guitar during this series, so stay tuned for that. Now buckle up, because this is probably going to be the craziest ride you've ever had in John's Guitar Lounge, but we are going to learn all sorts of cool stuff about bending notes, and you're going to love it, and you're going to come out at the end of this series bending notes like a pro. For this first intro lesson on bending, I'm going to show you how you can bend without having any other music playing and still get it right in pitch. So we're going to be putting our fingers on our fretting hand on our G string, and that is the third string down. That's 1, 2, 3. So that's our third thinnest string. Now we want to make sure first that our guitar is perfectly in tune. So tune up your guitar, pause this video if you need to, then come back to it. And now we're going to get started on our bending lesson. So we are going to play two strings. One is going to be an open string, and the other is going to be the bended string. So the open string we're going to play, and this is going to be our reference for the pitch. It's going to be our high E string. So there's our high E string. So play that open and listen to that pitch. Just get it in your head. So to practice bending, we're going to start by bending our G string to an E note. And we're just going to do a half step bend, which means we're just going to be bending up the pitch value of 1 fret. Now just play your high E string open for a second. Take your hand right off the fretboard and just play your high E string. That's your high E string. That is the note that's going to be our target when we're playing with our third string down. That same note, the E, in that same octave, that very same note, is played right here at our 9th fret on our G string. So just let that high E string ring out, and then take just your index finger for now, say, and put it on your G string on the 9th fret, and don't push any other strings. That should be the same note. Hear it? That's the same exact note. So when we bend a note, we want to start lower than where the note is on that particular string. If we want to bend up to the note that would be on the 9th fret of our G string, the E, then we have to start lower than that so we can bend up to it. So let's just put it 1 fret down, say on our 8th fret. And we're not going to use our index finger for this. I want you to get into the habit of bending with your ring finger. We're going to put our ring finger right on that G string on the 8th fret, and then we're going to take our 2 fingers behind it, our index finger and our middle finger, and we're going to put those on the frets before the 8th, meaning middle finger is going to be on the 7th, and our index finger is going to be on the 6th fret. All on the same string, all on the G string, because these 2 fingers, especially when you're learning, they're going to help you push that string so that that note that your ring finger is playing is going to bend. Hear it? Now you might be saying, well, if I'm pressing down on the 6th fret and the 7th fret, then aren't those notes going to play too? And I don't want those to play. You're saying to play the 8th fret on the G string. So why am I pressing down with these two fingers? Well, I'll explain why. When you play the guitar, the only note that's going to come out is going to be the one that's closest to your bridge, meaning not closest to the headstock, but closest to the body of the guitar and to the bridge. So that means if we're on our G string, and the 8th fret is the highest fret that we're playing, that's an E flat, by the way, then you can put anything else you want on that same string behind it, any fingers, and it's not going to change the pitch. Now, just to show you, I'm going to take these fingers right off. So now I'm just using my ring finger just on the G string on the 8th fret, and I'm going to play it. Now I'm going to take these two fingers, my index finger and my middle finger, and I'm going to put those on those two frets right before it, like I just said. Middle finger on the 7th fret, index finger on the 6th fret, and listen. It's the same note. Watch again. These two fingers are right off. Now that's not a magic trick. That's happening because the only note that is going to play and that's going to make sound on the string is the finger that's at the fret highest on the fretboard, or the closest to the body and to the bridge of the guitar. So the really good news about that is you can use these fingers that are behind the fret that you want to play, meaning you want to play the sound of the 8th fret on the G string. You can put these fingers on those frets behind it, and those fingers can give you the strength and help you have the strength to bend that string up. And you can bend it as high as you want to. Now that's kind of high, and that's not as high as we're going for this lesson, but I just want to show you. Using just my ring finger, here's how high I can bend that G string at the 8th fret. But using these two fingers behind it to help me get more strength, listen how far it can go. See, I'm actually pushing the strings right off the fretboard, which I'm not really advocating that you do all the time, but I'm just showing you how much more strength you can have. Instead of just trying to play it just with that one finger, use these other two fingers behind it, and you can have a lot more strength. So for a little while, I just want you to practice having just that ring finger on the 8th fret, and just try to move that string a little bit. And look, you're not going to move it very far because your fingers aren't that strong yet, probably. And you're going to develop more strength with time, and you're going to be able to push it further and further. But take these two fingers and put them on that same string, that G string, the 3rd string down from the top, from the high end of the guitar, and look what you can do. And I want you to practice just playing that high E string open while you've got your fingers on the G string in this position with your ring finger on the 8th fret, middle finger on the 7th, and your index finger on the 6th, again, all on the G string. And all you're going to do is play that high E string open, and you hear how it's under pitch, and then just practice bending it up to pitch, and go back and forth. And look, it's going to take time. Sometimes you're going to be more like that. See how that's off? That doesn't sound too good. There's dissonance. And then you're going to go a little bit past it sometimes. But you know what? Practicing this stuff is what makes it fun and what makes you better. So practice it and learn exactly how much pressure and exactly how much strength you have to use with these 3 fingers to get that note right in pitch. See? Just to show you I'm not fooling, I'm going to play these up here so you can see. And you might think that that's going to be horrible, but trust me, you do that 5 or 10 minutes a day, and I know it might be painful to listen to and to do for a little while, but do that 5 or 10 minutes a day, and in a week you are going to see a huge, huge difference in your bending, maybe even in just a day or 2. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you found it useful, I'm going to ask you to please like it here on YouTube, because that makes YouTube push it out to more people. The more likes it gets and the more comments it gets, the more YouTube is going to push it out so other people can see it too and hopefully learn from it, just like you are. Please also subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with everything going on here in John's Guitar Lounge, and so you can see the rest of this bending series, because we're going to get into some really cool stuff. And also, let me know in the comments what else you want to see, because I did this whole note bending series because people were asking me how to bend notes and how to bend notes more cleanly and better and with more precision, and to bend notes like a pro. So stay tuned to my channel for next time, and I will see you right here in John's Guitar Lounge. Take care.